down with
Awesome.
you.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out at the end of this episode.
Yeah, we're about to argue.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Lousy Show. First and foremost, this is gonna be one of those episodes. We're gonna test our limits with one another on this one. I can see.
I don't think we're going to test our limits. We know each other's limits.
I think.
We've been friends for.
I say that in the sense that this is a conversation we've never had before.
True. Yeah.
And I'm curious to see where that line's drawn for us on this. So welcome back, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Second, subscribe. Because
it's free.
Well, yeah.
It's free.
And like 90% of you are watching.
Yep.
All the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Don't subscribe. Why? Shout out to that person who commented telling us why.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that
was specific for like Reddit stuff. Like we do a lot more than that though.
Yeah, we're a podcast.
For example, we're talking not even about Reddit today.
Oh.
Although this stemmed from a Reddit thing. So
it did.
Yeah.
So when this comes out, I'm trying to remember.
This one will be so this is just after Thanksgiving and Black Friday.
Okay. So yes, go back and watch our Black Friday episode.
Yep.
It just came out a few days ago.
That was last week. Yep.
Literally as of this launching, this would have been 3 days prior that episode came out. And there is a particular story. We can give a brief synopsis real quick. So I mean, future Sam, you don't have to do too much work here.
Yep.
Brief synopsis was we read a Reddit story about someone working Black Friday.
Yep.
They did not want their sister or their sister talked shit about them.
Yeah, basically saying that retail is a easy job and that it's not a real job.
Yeah,
etc.
Yeah, and there was a comment in there about working on Thanksgiving, and also just in understanding Black Friday in general and how that looks, you know, from the retail perspective and such.
Yep.
Long story short, we gave our verdict on that, but you and I had differing opinions.
Yep.
Without even saying anything, we heard the clanging of the swords in our heads. I don't want to out what you do. Or rather where you work. Yeah. You've provided before a level of understanding of what you do. Yeah. I have also provided that I have worked in the same realm for many years prior.
We'll just say for this, it's sales in a retail environment.
Correct.
So I work Black Friday a lot.
Yes. And I've worked my variety of retail jobs as well. I would like to preface before we start this by saying I still love you as my brother. And at the end of this, we're still friends.
Yep.
No matter how much we disagree.
Yep. I'll kiss you on the mouth later.
Yep. And I would also like to say that retail jobs are just as difficult as any other jobs.
Yep.
And they should be respected.
Exactly. Yep.
There you go.
That being said, the conversation today is more centered around when Black Friday starts.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily the existence of Black Friday. While I'm not a fan of it personally, it's fine. But this is more, the comment was about companies starting Black Friday earlier and earlier to where now it starts at like 3 p.m. on Thanksgiving, you know? So, and so the immediate sword clash was basically us saying, or me saying that Black Friday shouldn't start that early. And you saying it doesn't matter when it starts, kind of. Or like, I'll let you say.
I didn't clarify.
Yeah, you did not clarify. So yeah, let's clarify positions here real quick.
Well, yeah, I want you to lay your position on the table first, fully, before I interject.
Okay. So yeah, my position as a retail employee is Thanksgiving is a national holiday. It is a time of thanks and reflection and time to spend with your family, to just hang out and be thankful for each other and your experiences and everything. I understand we live in a very capitalist, consumerist kind of world where basically as soon as Thanksgiving's over, Christmas starts. For some people, Christmas starts November 1st, which that I think we can agree, no, the fuck it does not.
No, the fuck it does not.
Yeah.
God.
My wife loves to put up a Christmas tree right after, although she isn't doing it this year, but.
And every time I come over when she does it, she's always like, don't judge me. And I'm just like, I was going to. Like, anyways, go ahead.
So, but it makes her happy. So whatever.
Happy spouse, happy house.
Exactly. Yeah. So my whole point now is Black Friday is always a day of hell for retail workers, because not only one, are you way busier than you normally are, two, just people tend to just not be nice to retail workers. And that's just not just retail, that's like hospitality and food service as well. So like I'm going to include them in that as
if
well.
I may pause you there for a moment, I think we're both going to agree on this. I'm going to stare directly at the camera when I say this.
Yeah.
If you're an asshole to retail workers, I hope your tires get slashed.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't. Just don't.
Yeah.
They're not lesser than you. They're humans too. Everyone has a job. Fuck off.
And that's to be expected.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I'm fine with working Black Friday. Yeah. I'd prefer not to, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
My problem has stemmed from, if you want to do a midnight thing, I guess that's fine. But companies are doing more and more to be open on Thanksgiving and start those Black Friday deals early. That I'm not really a huge fan of course, but like I don't have the problem with that. But the fact that it's on a holiday that directly affects me usually. Like, and now, fortunately, the company I work for does not do that. We're fully closed on Thanksgiving. So I don't really have any problems with it. But there are a lot of other companies, especially big box stores, that will open early. And just it robs the ability for people to celebrate that holiday normally. Of course, you can celebrate Thanksgiving a week before or a week after if you really want to. But having a day where things just kind of shut the fuck down, at least the things that aren't as needed, like retail, like big box retail. You know, if it's a grocery store, we can have some debate on that. But the needless kind of purchasing of gifts and bullshit, that's what I don't like, is starting so early and sometimes cutting into and totally robbing the family experience from a lot of people. And so, yeah, I don't like the fact that any Black Friday, anything starts on Thanksgiving. And that is my point. And I hope that they stop doing that.
That's fair. I will say this from the side of, like I said, both someone who has worked in retail and no longer works in retail. I think back to a time when you and I worked 26 hours straight, no sleep.
Yep.
That happened because we opened right at midnight.
Yep.
And went until 2 a.m. the next morning. Don't recommend doing that.
No.
By the end, I was actually, I'm pretty sure I was seeing shit by the end of that. And my brain was like done. But I agree that things should be shut down.
Yeah.
For a while. I want to clarify my position. When I said, when I gave my like little interject, I was like, oh, like when I did that to that particular Reddit story, I think that it is family tradition, like that family did, for people to do what they want to do. Some families like to go shopping. That is something they love to do. I also believe that it is, and I understand we don't live in a perfect world.
Yeah.
It is to the management's perspective of who, oh, my nose itches, of who works, making sure that the coverage is there, when that time comes.
Yeah.
I stand on the side of, I don't mind stores opening on Thanksgiving I do mind them opening so early on Thanksgiving. To clarify that, from earlier, I don't mind if a store opens at 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Black Friday deals should start until midnight, because that's when Friday starts, period. But if a store wants to open at 10 p.m., like, the truth of the matter is this: if you work in retail, you know what you sign up for.
Yeah.
It's the inevitable. Yeah. It's going to happen. I'm not going to out myself on the areas I worked in a certain retail, but I know one place or two places I worked in particular were GameStop and Journeys. Both jobs I loved.
Yeah.
I loved working at GameStop. We worked at GameStop together. Mm-hmm. Great time.
Yeah.
Great time.
It's fun working there.
Yeah.
Mostly.
It was.
Yeah.
But with Journeys, that was fun. However, that one was more of like, I guess you could say I was working more of like a coverage position.
Mm-hmm.
I was there to help. Yeah. Like basically in between shifts, because my initial position was so part-time. I was doing it to make money while I was, doing my haircutting and stuff. Like I was, in between. I was actually going to school at the time, but nonetheless, either way, both jobs, I knew what I signed up for. Mm. You know what you sign up for Black Friday. You know what you sign up for the holiday season. The seasonal positions know why they're getting hired. Yeah. There's no fluff around it. They know. But the opening so early, I can definitely stand with the mentality of no. Yeah. Like, don't do that. Mm. However, I believe that, like I said, companies should be able to open at like 10 or 11. Yeah. Because the employees know what they're getting into. Yes. You work retail. Yes. I want you to be able to spend time with your family on Thanksgiving. However, you also know what's coming. The tide is coming. Yeah. It's you just have to prepare for it. Mm. If you want to make sure, and I understand not everyone can get this, but if you want to make sure that you work a later shift on that day, tell your manager, try and get that scheduled. I think the managers should be taken, into account for, hey, you need to schedule appropriately to make sure that your people aren't burnt the fuck out. Yeah. Unfortunately, big box retail doesn't account for that. Thankfully, like you said, your current job definitely does. Yeah. Where y'all aren't open on Thanksgiving, you're definitely you value that day. That's great. And this is not me to say that all companies should open on Thanksgiving. Yeah. I don't believe that. Mm-hmm. I think that if a company wants to open, absolutely. But I mean, open 10 or 11 o'clock. That's fine. Let people peruse a little bit. Little pre-Black Friday sales. Get some of that extra stuff off your shelves. Sure. That's what consumerism looks like. That's what capitalism is. Yeah. But don't start your deals until midnight. Period. Make sure your employees are well taken care of. You want good, hardworking employees who are going to be there to make sure they can take the brunt of what's about to hit, because let's be real here, not all humans are good people. And a lot of them are going to be assholes to people who they've never even met before, all because they want fucking, this Polly Pocket fucking thing for their kid on Christmas, or they want the fucking brand new microwave because it's, only $20 and fucking Gran and fucking Aunt Jemima over here are fucking taking the last two of them, and you want to beat the shit out. Like, no one's fucking inherently good. I'm sorry. Yeah. When it comes to Black Friday, no one's inherently good. That's when your worst comes out. But the company should take care of their employees.
They should.
Now, this is going to be one of the more polarizing statements I make, and you're probably going to grimace when I say this. Mm. But at the time of releasing this episode, I will be 32 years old. Yeah. 32 years on this planet. Definitely, 14 years in the workforce. I say this with the understanding that not all jobs are readily available. But I recognize this too, because I've seen you go through this. Yeah. Your position is good in the sense of you don't work on Thanksgiving. You know what Black Friday looks like. Mm. You're prepared for that. Yeah. I do not take into account the argument of people saying, well, I can't just go find another job. The reason I say that is because if you take the time, I didn't just stumble into my position. It took years for me to get to my position. But if you do not want to be in the current position you're in, you have to work your way out of it. You have to, you either work your way up in the company you're in, or you work to find another position. With Black Friday being a staple of the, the consumer market, right? If you don't want to work Black Friday and you want to find a job that doesn't make you do that, you need to find a job that doesn't make you do that.
Okay.
I'm not saying, and I don't want that to be convoluted in any way. I don't want to be confused. I want it to be known. That is not me saying that the job market is all wide open and you can go walk out into a place and go get you a job today. That is not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I am saying is you will have to put in the hard work to go find one. But do not tell me, because a lot of people out there be like, I don't want to fucking do this, but aren't putting in the time to go find another spot.
Yeah.
Both sides have their tarnished points. People being assholes on Black Friday, and then the people who want to sit there and say they don't want to work Black Friday, but don't want to put in the work to go find another spot.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that the people who actually put in that effort and want to do it will find a way to get out of that.
Yeah.
And will find a way to find a job where they don't have to do that anymore. And that's great. But to not dive down the rabbit hole any further, I will conclude by saying that I believe companies reserve the right to open on Thanksgiving. I do not believe they should open any earlier than like 10 p.m. because that's well after all the festivities have happened.
Yeah.
I don't know any families who are eating at 9 o'clock at night for Thanksgiving dinner. Like, we're sitting down at 2, 3 in the afternoon so we can get our afternoon naps in afterwards, But I don't see anything wrong with 10 or 11 o'clock because honestly, it allows your workforce to also get prepared mentally. Gives them that buffer of like, okay, I'm here. Let's Red Bull up. Let's get going,
Yeah.
But yeah, I conclude on that. And I would love to hear your thoughts.
So I agree. It's not easy to go out there and get another job, but you can still do it if you try hard enough. And it might take you a while. But
I mean, to that point, I would like to say for me to find the job I'm in now, legit took me 9 months.
Yeah. But my company does that not out of the goodness of their hearts, because my workforce is unionized and we have a contract that said we're not fucking working this day. Most retail places, and this is not a union versus non-union. Like, I'm not like, I'm just saying
that's a whole different episode.
That's a whole, this is not the argument I'm having. I'm just saying that that's why we don't. My company would absolutely be greedy as shit and want to be open all day Thanksgiving. If they didn't do that. So the problem has lied over the last few years, and actually really last decade.
Yeah.
It's been earlier and earlier, save COVID, because COVID fucked a lot of things up. But so it used to be Black Friday was just another normal shopping day that just happened to have some sales. And then companies started pushing it up and up and up and up and up and up and up. So it's not like you were initially going in with the intent of this is starting at midnight. For some places, at least. Of course, some there's some that have been doing that for a while. But my point is more that this changes a lot over time. And I understand there's trends and everything like that. But at the end of the day, how many days are companies fully closed? 1.
2.
Not include, because at this point you can't even include Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So let's think of this from the perspective of the retail worker. That's 1 day that they're guaranteed closed to enjoy time with their family.
Yes.
And that's even there's some places that are still open. But for the most part, that's the only day that places are actually closed.
Yeah.
Do we not want to give the respect to the person that's working that job to maybe give them 1 more fucking day, especially when it's a day of thanks and reflection and not let's kick off a fucking buying spree and all the companies are like money. Yeah. So I'm not thinking sure, business have the right to do whatever the fuck they want, unfortunately. There's good in that and then there's a lot of bad in that as well.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, I don't feel that, especially with those like, and I'm honestly kind of hoping for online shopping to kind of take over just because of this. Like, and this is like a more cynical side of me, but like I'd rather Cyber Monday be the only one. Because then of course the people in like shipping centers are going to be working a lot harder, but so it's always going to happen.
So it's a double-edged sword,
but it's a double-edged sword. So there's pro and con to all of it. But again, that's my personal selfishness coming out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, I would personally, the way that I would do this, if I were the big man in charge, yes, money is the number one thing, but you're still going to make the fucking money either way.
Yeah.
So why not just have it a normal fucking work day?
Oh no, yeah,
like that's my thing. Like, and so I would personally think I would want to make it kind of illegal to make that decision. But of course, it's capitalist country, so we're not going to go down the whole political rabbit hole of it.
Oh, if we were to go down that, we would have to incorporate everybody who doesn't believe Thanksgiving's real.
Yeah. And that's like Thanksgiving.
Which fuck all y'all.
Yeah, yeah, that food's fucking delicious. But no, it's like, to me, it's a day of getting together, being thankful.
Yeah.
We're not talking about
I want to preface that real quick. Yeah. I want to we didn't get to really preface this at the beginning. Thanksgiving is ultimately a day of giving thanks and fellowship, if you will, amongst your peers, whether it be your family, your friends, or those alike.
Yeah.
Everybody out there who says Thanksgiving isn't real because of history, white man come steal land. What that whole nonsense. Like, we get it. History fucking sucked. But here's how you change history: is you change the fucking mentality now, and instill that in the future generations. Yeah, that's how you fucking do that. So Thanksgiving now, as it has been, it's not about, hey, let's prey on the idea that history was a fucking bloodshed. No, we're going to talk about, hey, Thanksgiving is where we do all get together. We have fun with, Friendsgivings and Thanksgiving and the all that alike, where let's cook some good fucking food. Let's sit down and have a good meal. We haven't seen each other all fucking year. Let's actually have a nice conversation.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So anybody out there in the comments who's like, Thanksgiving, no, fuck yourself. Fuck off. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
I mean, and that's why it's basically my favorite holiday, because like there's no underlying excuse.
Yeah.
There's no, I understand you want to get gifts for loved ones, but like that's the thing about Christmas is like, it's all about gift giving. Unfortunately, like, it's not necessarily about the fellowship and the getting together. It's about buying cheap shit for somebody off of Amazon. And so whereas Thanksgiving, it's just, let's just get together, have some food, maybe watch some football, just spend some time together. And so it's a much more innocent. I don't think innocent's necessarily the right word, but it's much more kind of pure holiday because of that. There's nothing else to it now, at least in my opinion. Whereas Christmas, much more about kind of consumer. I shouldn't say about consumers. It's about.
It is.
Yeah, but it's the original intent is about showing appreciation for loved ones.
Let's be real here.
Things like that. So
Christmas and Thanksgiving are identical holidays. It's meant to be about fellowship.
Yeah.
Yes, gift giving is part of Christmas, sure, but it's not always. No. There's people like me who don't need gifts.
Yeah.
It's about fellowship. It's about family time, friendship time. It's about being able to get together, enjoying a good meal, and having great conversation, great time together. That's what those two holidays are for.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm going to say this now before any of the comments blow up too. All y'all out there saying whatever you want to say about Christmas, fuck off.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the religious aspects of it.
Nope.
Fuck off. Now, I will say this. I see your point.
Yeah.
I also speak from the side of not someone who goes out and shops on Black Friday like crazy, because I'm the guy who's going to go in the evening the next day, Friday evening when all the hustle and bustle are gone. And I'm just going and getting some good gifts because, hey, cool, whatever. There's a few deals floating around, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm also the kind of person who's going to hunt down good deals online because fuck it. I don't want to deal with the damn crowds.
Yeah.
I look at it from the stance of opening at 10 or 11 o'clock because of I remember being at that time and walking into fucking bloodshed in that store and going, no.
Yeah.
you have to hype yourself up before things like that. I think it helps the mental battle a bit, being able to like prepare yourself, be like, all right, cool. We know the plan in place. We know this is how they're coming in. This is where they're getting out. Like so on and so forth. This is where you're gonna be. Da, 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 da. Cool. It's almost like a fucking militant fucking, we're doing this plan. That's my mentality behind it. Is being able to, from the manager standpoint, like I want to make sure my team is ready because we know we're about to go through the fucking trenches.
Yeah.
I want them to be as comfortable but as confident as possible going into this.
Can I jump into this for a second?
Yes.
You know what the best preparation for that would be? A good night of sleep.
That's fair. And I would concede on the side of saying, I would also concede on the side of saying, like, sure, start Black Friday at like 8 a.m.
Yeah. That's basically what we do. We open an hour early.
Yep.
It is all hands on deck for that first hour. Or for like, basically, we'll have like the closers come in. And it kind of sucks working that split shift, but they at least still adhere to all the rules that are there, right? So you'll work, if you're a split shift, you'll work like 7 to 10 and then come back from like 3 to 9.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah.
Because it's always the first little rush is the biggest part. And then we don't stay open later or anything else like that. It's just an hour early. Now, granted, we don't have huge deals or anything else like that, but we still get a lot of fucking traffic, just inherently. And just having that full night to not have to worry about it. And then we just come in, we usually have like a little we usually have like a leftover potluck and we'll like bring some leftovers and have a little bit of a sense of camaraderie and like be able to kind of prepare for what's about to happen. And so that, I've worked, we work together at GameStop midnights. And then of course the other place where we work 26 hours, nothing could have prepared me for that shift. Now, granted, 26 hours was a ridiculous shift, but nothing could have prepared me for doing it that night, especially because we were out of town. And our Thanksgiving was at a Cracker Barrel.
God, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, which was trash. Cracker Barrel is
horrible.
Cracker Barrel is a terrible restaurant that needs to close. Don't change my mind because it's not going to happen.
That's a story for another day.
Anyway, so and that's the thing is, I don't mind doing the work. I'm totally fine doing the work.
Yeah, but
having a kind of a sense of normalcy in that and not making a giant spectacle out of somebody else is about to make a fuck ton of money. I'm about to make my normal hourly wage.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I kind of have the issue with.
Yeah. I mean, I have a problem with big corporations anyways.
Yeah,
like I shop small anyways, or smaller.
Yeah,
like
try to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to do these days. But.
It is. I mean, the smallest brand I think I shop is Into the AM.
Yeah.
And even then they're still getting big.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I want to say this. I mean, I know we're 30 minutes deep into this episode, but I do want to say this. I agree with you.
Yeah. And I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. I see it because I see it from in a perfect world. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
But in reality, that's not going to fucking happen.
It could.
It could. But this is where I'm going to sound like a dick.
Yeah.
I don't mean to when I say this. It could.
Yeah.
Go do it. That's where I'm at because I've always been the person. I mean, you've known me to always be the person of, if someone tells me I can't fucking do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rub it in your face. I'm going to let my success speak for itself. And then I'm going to continue moving on to where I was originally going.
Exactly.
That's where I say, it could. Go do it because everyone can sit here and say, oh, it could do that.
Yeah.
Then go do it. If you firmly believe that it could, then you should be the one to go and step up and say, all right, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, what about all these other factors? No, don't let the factors be the evidence. You be the evidence. You be the evidence of you backing up what you just said.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
The reality versus what could.
Of course. I mean,
if you want what could to be your reality, make it your reality.
You got to do it. Yeah.
Period.
It's just harder in a systemic situation.
I agree. You're not short of your hurdles.
No.
But you can clear those hurdles. Use the Olympic track method, of thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, there are 5 jumps in front of me, and I got to clear them to break the record. Awesome. How the fuck am I going to do it?
Yeah.
Let's figure it out. Same thing with anything. The systemic method, the system's not there to hold you down. The system's there to be broken.
Yeah.
You break the fucking system. Be that person who's going to fucking do it. At the end of the day, that's fine. However, in the reality of what is now, that's how my viewing is.
That's fine.
Not that I want to conform to it, but I see it as like, okay, in the reality, what would make this situation as doable as possible to benefit the worker and still be able to do what needs to be done?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now let's put that together. And that's where I come into play of like, okay, yeah, like you said, shit, for those first 2 hours, don't open, but have your workers there and pay them fucking double. I firmly believe that. Black Friday, your workers should be paid double.
I think we get paid time and a half.
Fuck that. No, double. Because
double.
Here's the thing. If I'm Miss Karen walking in and I'm fucking yelling at you because XYZ reasons, no, you don't deserve that, but you should be getting paid double. If you're making 15 an hour, be paid 30. You're making 20, be paid 40. You should be paid double because you're putting in double the work and double the time. You should be paid double. 100%. For those first 2 hours, absolutely. Those first 2 hours should be cake. You should be able to come in and make some free money. You don't have to deal with any customers. Let's just get a couple things set up and get ready to rock and roll. Have a little potluck. Team environment, team camaraderie, team Thanksgiving. Cool. That's fine. Find a way to make it as evident as possible that you want your team to be mentally stable, mentally prepared, and everyone's on the same page. Pay them. Give them the benefits. Give them the time.
See, here's the problem with all of this, though. Both my point and now your point. The company actually has to actually give a shit about the employee. And 99% of them don't. Yeah. Or if they do, they pretend to because the union tells them they have to. So like in my situation. So,
which I don't find unions bad.
No, and I think inherently they're good. And again, like there's going to be some people that think they're bad and blah, blah, blah. But it's fuck off. That's not the conversation today. But
we had to fuck off 3 different groups of people.
I mean, I'll tell everybody to fuck off.
Truth.
Like I don't care what you're saying. Like usually I just don't want to talk to you.
You do a lot of talking as it is.
So it's, and it's, again, and to echo your point and to kind of put a bow on this, it's not a perfect world.
It's not.
And really, you're listening to this probably thinking, so what was the point of this conversation? There wasn't necessarily a point.
I don't think this is one of our episodes we're going to have a conclusion to like
this
that.
This is just a discussion.
Yeah.
And we'd love to hear your comments for sure on this and kind of where you stand on it. But at the end of the day, we for once had a point of contention that wasn't food related. And we're like, hey, let's talk about it. Cause having, oh God, I'm gonna fucking do it. Good and honest
communication
is, God, I fucking hate myself.
Yes.
Is the number one thing here. And plus, for some reason, you guys like hearing us talk, I guess.
Yeah.
So
no, I'll concede with the bow as well, and agree to the fact that a lot of our episodes usually have some sort of conclusion or concluding statements that kind of tie it all together. This one's not meant to do that. No. This one was you and I had very differing opinions on something on just a simple statement.
Yeah.
And it's pretty common. You and I have very similar views. We might have differing opinions, but typically those views are going to be similar. In this case, it was very different. We had very differing opinions in that moment.
Yeah.
But this is always going to be an open-ended story.
Oh, definitely.
Because
until something changes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the consumer market's the consumer machine is going to continue to billow and move and go. And the cogs are going to continue to turn. And like I said, I feel as though we agree on this, is if you have a problem with it, be the person to change it. Yeah. The systemic environment you're in is not meant to oppress you. It's meant for you to break it. Yeah. All good systems are meant to be broken. That's how they get stronger. Be the one to break it. Be the one to make it stronger for the right reasons.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I think you and I probably won't ever agree fully, but I can see your point and you can see mine.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people out there can do the same.
Yeah. And we respect each other.
Correct.
So you can here's this crazy thing.
Don't do it, Sam.
I'm going to say it.
Sam.
You can have a different opinion and still respect somebody.
But with that, we would love to hear your opinions in the comments.
Yep.
As this man already stated. So go to the comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know your thoughts entirely. Or if you have none, you know what we always say. Drop an emoji because engagement helps us out.
Do a peach emoji this time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, before you head out, we're at that time of the show. There's a button behind me.
Mhm.
Subscribe. It helps us.
Yep.
We would love for this channel to blow up as much as it possibly can. We have a lot of fun doing this. So subscribe, click the video as well behind me, go watch that, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.